Check, check, check. Hello? Hello? Yo, 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 yo. Rebel advocates in the building. What's going on, everybody? Everyone all right, yeah? Is everybody okay? What's going on? Is anyone there with me today? Who's that? Aye, Johnny. Johnny. How you feeling, sir? You right? Join the club. Join the club, old chap. Anyone else there? We saying that? Are you right, sir? No worries. No worries, no worries, no worries. We only got two subjects today talking about, but first we're going to start off with the conspiracy stuff. Your favorite. So what? All right, we're going to just go through a few of them, yeah, and just talk some stuff about them. What do you think about conspiracies? You know, it's a strange old one, isn't it? People start looking at you funny when you start talking about conspiracy stuff, isn't it? Have you noticed?
Hold on, can you hear me all right, guys?
No, better, much better now,
Yeah.
much better. There was no sound
Yeah,
coming
okay.
through. Go on.
Yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry.
Strange one. No, yeah, I mean, it's like if you've got a sort of a different opinion to sort of the mainstream narrative, it's always people sort of might look at you like you're a bit stupid, you know what I mean? Or say, you know, sort of might try to treat you a little bit different, or like you say, you're a bit mad in it if you've got a different opinion about sort of, I don't know, what were some of the main ones that happened, sort of, maybe like Princess Diana in it. Some people say she was murdered, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And but if you say that to some people, they would definitely look at you like, oh, you're a bit strange, you know what I mean? Why would you think like that, you know what I mean? But that's kind of, some of the main ones that you come across. But yeah,
What about
we know what.
go
I
on, go
believe
on.
in some of them, you know what I mean? I believe in some of them.
Not Diana though.
Or
Not Diana though, innit?
well, I don't know, innit? She said that she felt she might die in a car crash, and she did. So I don't know. Maybe
Johnny
there was something in it.
go on. All right, fair enough, fair enough.
Maybe there was something in that. Maybe not, but
What you know about that one, Johnny, don't you?
What, conspiracies?
Around Diana.
Oh yeah. That the Diana thing's a bit mad still. Like, obviously she was with that was it
Dodi.
what race was he again? What race was he
He's
again?
Egyptian, I think, right?
Yeah, and they didn't. Well, obviously they didn't want her to marry him and stuff like that, and obviously I think, wasn't she pregnant at the time or some madness or something. She found out she was pregnant for him, and they didn't want to bring him into the family or some madness like that, man. But you know, I think I'm with Artie on that one, man. It was a bit, get me, because I remember there was something around the way she was gonna die, and then she ended up dying like that. So it's a bit crazy,
mm,
that one, man. It's a techie one still, man. But yeah, it's mad. But she,
yeah, it's
but look, yeah, and it's like she was like one of the first royals I remember that used to do so much, and she went over
mm,
to Africa, and she helped. She had a foundation out there, and she helped certain. Get me? She helped them. She helped. Like, she done a lot for them, man. And it's like, you don't really see. Well, you see one of her sons try and take on certain things, but yeah, it's like she was the more out there one in it, and it's like she wouldn't let them control her and stuff like that, and she just did things her way in it. So maybe they wanted to take her out. You get it?
And
You never know, innit? She did that. I mean,
go on,
I
John.
don't
Go
know.
on,
She did
Artie. Go
say
on.
that, innit? So
Go on, Artie. Go on. Elaborate on
no,
that. Go on.
yeah, no. She was saying that. That's all, innit? She did right. She said that she thought she would die in a car crash, and she did, innit? So I don't know. And there's a lot of issues behind how she died and whatever length of time people took to get to her. Situations like that, you know what I mean? Just all seemed a bit strange if you look at when you know. There's been obviously because she was so high profile, plenty of programs made about how she died and this, that, and the other. Yeah, a little bit fishy for me, you know, and that's one of the ones that sort of I think is sort of commonly challenged in it, you know what I mean? There's that one. There's loads of the main ones in it. You say like, you know, the old moon landing. Remember back in the days, they said it was fake. You know what I mean? That one there, they said that weren't real and that.
So, all right. Let's move. Shall we move on from the Diana then? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're jumping on that.
on.
You think definitely there was
Yeah,
something
sorry.
wrong with that. Yeah. You thought there was a bit something suspect with Diana. Yeah.
Definitely, yes, I think so.
What? Because she said that she would die in a car crash, or are you trying to say the contamination of the pure blood?
Yeah, I think more the pure bloodline, innit? They didn't really want to narrow in that, even though the bloodline isn't pure if you check it really.
Well, isn't it thingy now? Like, because isn't the guy married this girl? No, marrying this girl.
Oh,
Isn't that
Harry.
changing? Yeah, isn't that changing the bloodline?
Yeah, you could argue that. Yeah, of course. I mean, even historically, what are the sort of German Greek, innit? Way back when. So, but yeah, possibly. And there's a history of violence and doing messed up stuff with the royals if you date it back some time, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I was buying to it a little bit, and yeah, the fact that, you know, I mean, she was leaving, you know, I mean, leaving him, and they were splitting up and stuff, and you know, that's that sort of environment. Maybe you can't really come out of so easily, you know what I mean?
Oh, what was it like? If something happened or he got divorced, he couldn't be king or something like that, right? When that was that the talk?
Yeah, I think so. Basically, yeah.
Because if she did divorce him now, he wouldn't be king now, right?
Well,
It would have
suppose he
passed
was
down
the
to
next.
somebody or something, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no. Obviously, that clearly wasn't the case. And then, I mean, he's king now. You know what I'm saying? For how much longer? Who knows?
Right. Fair enough. All right.
But yeah, no,
Swiftly.
100% on that one. I think there's a little bit of fishiness in that, and a little bit of reality to
Swiftly.
people believe.
Go on. All right. Swiftly. What? All right. Well, as soon as you're talking about the moon landings, what do you think? They were bullshit. The moon landings.
I don't know, man. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. I reckon they might have went out there, but some of the early ones in it, they look a bit dodgy in it. Like man sat behind, man built a little sort of fake studio there. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he did. You know what I mean, John? You know them ones there look like some little studio there.
So they said it was like, what was it, Area 50? What was it, Area 51 or whatever, some madness? Like, like you're saying, some stage thing, man. It's I don't know, man. It's all mad. Like, I see what is. I'd never truly believe that moon thing unless you send me to the moon and I can I can clarify for myself. Yeah, we can go to the moon and then I don't believe that shit, man.
Yeah,
I think it's all some stage shit, bro. Even when they send these shuttles into space, I don't believe it, bro.
So what?
Really and truly.
What do you think they're doing then? They're just taking the money and just doing nothing, basically.
Just spending it off on
making
stuff,
films.
Yes, some make-believe thing.
I mean, sort of space budgets and stuff, isn't it? It must be astronomical. the amount of money they must push into that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
Or
lot.
say
It's a
they're
lot.
pushing into that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where
it's a lot.
reality they could be cycling it off elsewhere.
Go on. Yeah,
And
it's
I
a lot.
reckon these
Go on.
go on. And I reckon these astronauts have to take some type of vow thing, like to never speak the truth. What's really happened, bruv, and they get their cut out of it, because I reckon it's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit.
No. I mean, yeah, it's but it's like you hear even over here when they say the space budget and stuff and what's really happening. You know what I mean? Oh, this is this mission and that mission. Nobody don't really know. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're believing in sort of a leap of faith in terms of are they really going out there? You know what I mean? Especially the earlier ones. You know. I mean, maybe they were even less believable than sort of modern day ones, you know what I mean? If you look at how they were, when you see the footage in that, you're looking like someone made a video in their back garden sort of thing.
Yeah, what was it? It started with Apollo 11, 1969, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And they said they got a lot of documents by NASA in it. They left something on the moon, didn't they? The flag, didn't they leave the flag on there? No.
The flag, yeah, the flag.
Yeah, that's right. They put the flag on there, innit?
You want to know the wickedest thing, though, right? The wickedest thing is nobody will be able to check it, innit? Because they can say they've been there, yes or no, but nobody will check it. None of us will be able to check it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we just have to go with what they're telling us.
It's that narrative, isn't it, to sort of believe in the stuff that you're told by these people who, over historical periods of time, they've proven to not be very trustworthy, sadly. So.
All right. So what about? Do you remember what was it? Challenger blew up, didn't it? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that blew up early doors.
So then, what was that then?
God knows.
They didn't like the people or something. They didn't like them. They were talking. They were gonna make a book about the thing, and they said, "No, you go in Challenger. Go check out Challenger."
Yeah.
What would you say about that one, Johnny?
I don't even know about Challenger.
Challenger is the one where they sent the rocket up and it just blew up. It exploded before it even got anywhere.
Yeah, it just blew up in the back. Like a minute, Johnny. You know what I mean? Went up there, didn't go anywhere. About a minute, and then the thing just blow up with everyone in there. You know what I mean? That was about the size of that one.
Maybe them people didn't. Maybe they didn't take the vow and they didn't agree to the lying thing. You get it? It's like, all right, then.
There you go. I was waiting for that.
1986, man. You know what I mean? That was the 7, obviously, crew members all died out there in 1986, mate. It's like, yeah. That went up quickly, man, you know what I mean?
January 1986, they said it was caused by the failure of an O-ring seal in one of the solid rocket boosters, which led to the destruction of the shuttle. Yeah?
Right.
But yeah, strange one. Strange one there, blow up quickly, you know what I mean? So quickly, you never ever see that. Yeah, I suppose they'll say it's a freak accident, isn't it? So
100. Big up Becky Lou. She says this
big up.
Most definitely suspect about the old the Princess Diana thing. Fair enough. What else? What about the Boston Marathon? Do you remember that one, guys?
Yeah,
yes.
One of my favourite ones there on the old conspiracy, the old crisis actors getting involved there, maybe. You know what I mean? Looked like a bit of a set-up job, you know what I mean, for me, for my liking. And a few people have sort of watched the videos and had a look at it, you know what I mean? But yeah, it looked strange, man, the way it was.
What do you say about that, Johnny? What was this? This is April 15th, 2013. The Boston Marathon bombing. It's down as a terrorist attack.
Mm.
Yeah. 2 pressure cooker bombs detonated. They were detonated close near the finishing line. 3 people died. Hundreds were injured. These 2 guys, I don't know. They got some Russian type names, didn't they, or something?
Well, like Russian / Eastern European guys. Yeah. Tried to pin it on someone, you know what I mean? Tried to pin it on someone. It's a shambles.
One of them got caught. One of them got killed. Yeah.
Yeah, they run him down and kill him up. Apparently.
What about this other guy? Because we haven't really heard nothing of the guy that's alive, then, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. They keep on trying to talk. You know what I mean? They started bothering him a few times in there. He said he didn't do it. You know what I mean? Whatever, but. Yeah, it's all very strange, mate. That was like a big setup job. You had the people there, the guy with the legs that they said he got his legs blown off and there was no blood there and stuff, you know what I mean? And there's lots of different footage you can see online, you know what I mean, for yourself if you've got an open mind and have a look at some of the stuff you'll witness. Some strange going on there, definitely, you know what I mean? Sort of to increase this maybe terror belief of people, you know what I mean, from certain backgrounds or whatever. You know, because you know, this is what we're talking about, isn't it? If you say this about certain issues or certain things, they'll look at you like you're slightly tapped up, you know what I mean? But when you look at it in the cold light of day, you'll see the nonsense. And sometimes these things they do and they set them up, I feel, like I said, to increase some hatred, but some of them are done so sloppily you wouldn't believe it, you know what I mean? See these man with a wheelchair, he's being wheeled around, you know what I mean? But his legs blown off, but there's no blood. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy.
What about you?
That sounds a bit staged.
That
sounds staged.
Yeah, 100%, man. They got their crisis actors, innit? You know what I mean? But their crisis actors there, they bring them in, you know what I mean? Just set them up there for the thing to go off. Just let off a little fake explosion.
So what happened? These are obviously got a big sentence, isn't it? Or the one
they killed the one brother, innit? The one brother killed, I think the other one, they sentenced him for life, innit? You know what I mean? But it's, fishy that one is, isn't it, mate? Another fishy one because, it's just like I said, all of these things there are just made to sort of increase like a level of hatred for people from a certain background, I think, and they can get a few of these crisis actors in. You see them, man, if you type in their name or face, you can see them. They've been in other programs or shows, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And they just put them in them surroundings there and set it off and take a couple pictures of people, whatever. You know, I know there is I believe there is real stuff that happens and real tragedies, but some of these ones I just look at and think, no, I'm not having it. I don't believe it, you know.
It's a proper stage thing.
Yeah, total setup, mate, you know what I mean?
I hear that. Didn't they make a film about that one time? did they make a film about that whole Boston thing?
Yeah, they did.
I think it's like I forgot the actors to come and help them with the film as well. Because, boy, that was too fishy, mate.
Did you hear anything about that, Johnny?
No.
Yeah, if you can Google it, mate. You'd say, like, obviously the Boston bombing fake, and they'll just show you these men there, sitting there, you know what I mean? It's a bit set up.
It's just weird how it's just weird how you don't hear nothing about it again, because you know, normally when stuff happen like that, you'll get people get access into the prison and try and interview the perpetrators and you or even the people that got injured, and you don't hear nothing now. It's just swept under the carpet now. You get it? 10 years and it's just,
Oh yeah, that's it. It's like a lot of them, isn't it? It's sensational. It's, you know what I mean? It's like sort of sensationalized, but when you look deep into it, it's a bit more darker than that, because a lot of them, I think, is like setups, and maybe people do die in the whole thing, but it's like collateral damage for a bigger picture. But possibly, and an agenda that can be reinforced in it by saying certain things. Oh, this happened, and this was a bombing here, and the suspect was these two guys, and they're from the Middle East or somewhere like that, and it reinforces the stereotype and the image of, these people are crazy, you know what I mean, and they'll do anything. But yeah, arguably sometimes there's a little bit of a darker force, you know what I mean? Possibly deeper within, mate. You're trying to set up that.
It sounds like some next Twin Tower thing, man.
Yeah, exactly.
As you mentioned Twin Towers, yeah, let's jump onto that one. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, it's another one.
Go on, Artie. Go on.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll roll with that one as well. Another nonsense they might have set up, and they say, "Oh, but how could they sacrifice a certain amount of people or this and that?" It doesn't matter, innit? It doesn't matter to them. Again, it's reinforcing a belief and a stereotype, and they could have a war in Iraq. You know what I mean? By having that. Without that, they couldn't have the war in Iraq, even though the people who they said done it were from Saudi Arabia.
What sticks out, my friend? What sticks out to make you think it's not real?
The fact that after all that, they said they found their passport. They found the passport on the floor. After everything, after the plane hit the Twin Towers and that, they said they found the passport of the bombers. Out of everything they could have found, out of a burning wreckage that went into a skyscraper and that, they said they found the passport of these so-called bombers. You know what I mean? It's like 1 in a million. And yeah, you saw the stuff with when they said the one that went into the Pentagon, and you could barely see it. It didn't look like no plane. You know what I mean? Yeah, but yeah, that was the funniest one when they said that
the passport, yeah.
Yeah, they found the bomber's passport out of everything.
And that was the big one to make it stick out for you, yeah?
Yeah, it's a bit it's a bit stupid, mate. I don't believe it. You can just find that there. The chances of that is very slim.
Did you hear about that one, Johnny?
No, I didn't know about the passport thing,
But you heard about 9/11,
yeah, they said
though,
they
right?
found his passport.
Yeah. I know about all of that when people were all slowing down the footage, and when they're all saying, "Oh, look, the building looked like it's about to crumble before the first plane hits the thing, and then the second one, bruv, it was just mere that conspiracy thing, and how did the people even get onto the plane in the first place, and talking about the security, that certain security measures wasn't like reached, and the bare madness, man. And then that started off all the terrorism. What do I think?
What do you think? Yeah,
I think the whole thing was staged, man. Obviously, people did die in that thing, but it was just a stage thing to do with or to do with money, the economy system, and something. I think even something they did say, the insurance thing from the Twin Towers, and it was some insurance job, and bruv, it's all mad. It's all crazy, man.
Yeah, they said it got
all the things behind that.
Sorry, he said, what did they say, Johnny? Got recently, prior to it going down, it got reinsured for, I can't remember how much, hundreds of million or billions, you know what I mean?
Serious?
Yeah, not too long ago, not too long prior to it going down. So stuff like that. So there might have been money to be made, and and also like I just feel to increase the belief that they could reinforce the public in America and in Britain that they needed this war in Iraq, even though, like they said, they're so dumb. They said, "Oh, but the guys were from Saudi anyway. So why are you going to Iraq then if they're from Saudi?"
And you know the worst thing is, I've seen all these things, and obviously they link that back to what's his name? What was his name? Bin Laden.
Yeah.
And obviously it shows that Bin Laden was some top agent, secret, and he had all these top secret files on America. They wanted to get to him, so they staged this whole thing. Then when that happened, they went and found him. He was hiding under the ground, and then, brother, holy for madness, man. The whole thing's just crazy, man. And then they're telling us they found him and they killed him, and then other people are saying they didn't even kill him, it's someone else they killed, and they let my man go, and they said all we want is the files, the secret files you got, and then we'll let you go and we'll stage your killing. And I remember when they were doing all those videos with him online where it looked like he was beheading people, and everyone's like, "Oh, look!" And then, dude, I remember all them videos every day on the news. My man was beheading someone on online and them thing. I was like, "Come on, this ain't real. This ain't real, man."
No, I mean exactly, but who knows? But and also the thing about a lot of these theories, whatever one it is, people are more likely to believe in some of these, because sadly the people that have run the countries or whoever, where you're from, America or Britain or whatever, they're so distrustful and they've never been that honest in the first place. So it tends to throw these things up anyway, and even to the normal person, not normal person, but anyone that would sort of challenge that narrative would tend to believe them a bit more because they have been so dishonest in the past, you know what I mean? And this whole thing about the stuff in the Middle East and stuff and the war in Iraq was over 9/11. But then, like I said, these guys were from Saudi Arabia, mate. So why are you going over in Iraq? You know what I mean? It's just
Iraq.
Yeah, but then it's just anything to sort of maybe create a distraction and to say, oh, we need to do this thing now. We need to start this sort of war, this sort of conflict, and to reinforce the belief that these guys are the bad people. You know what I mean? So I don't. Yeah, I think it is plausible that they wouldn't have any problem with killing a few people. How many? You know what I mean? There's collateral damage because they've done it in the past in their own conflicts. They've done it to their own soldiers in Vietnam and places. So they would happily lose a few of their own people, whether they're civilians or whatever, to reinforce to the media to say, yeah, we need to go to war with these people. You know what I mean?
I just reckon every once in a while they feel they have to put fear into us as human beings to keep a hold over us, because they'll do the 9/11, the Boston thing, the COVID thing. They got be different. Get me? It's the Ebola thing. They put the fear in us and be like, as long as these people fear us, we can always have control over them. But the moment they don't fear us, they'll just they'll just do their own thing, because all these things are all staged, man, and it's all to do with money and the money system, the economy. It's all and then they're saying they're gonna fund a war, and then you got this thing with Russia and Ukraine going on, and then you got the Palestine war with the Israelis, and then you got, bruv, this is all to do with money, man. It's all the economy thing, man. But get me?
Money and power, isn't it? Money and power, so they can control. So we're sort of historically they've liked to control large parts of the Middle East anyway. Well, tried to at least for a long period of time. So, and Iraq is one of those countries they want to in it. They was already invaded there 30 years prior to that, in it. You know what I mean? So it's just another chance to get in there and and try to destabilize things anymore.
And try to take away the heroin in Iraq. You get it? They want They want the browns. You get it?
Yeah, of course, isn't it? That's big money, like you said.
It's a drugs war, man. With the Iraq, it's a drugs war, man.
So yeah, for that reason, yeah, I think the 9/11 totally could have been plausibly set up. You know what I mean, guys?
Could have been, totally. Could have been, yeah, totally. All right. What about the Area 51 and the UFO cover-up? About the Area 51. What do they say? Some believe it's involved in studying extraterrestrial technology, and that the government's covering up the existence of UFOs. What do you think? Do you think there's UFOs, guys? Johnny?
Do I think there's? I don't know, but do you know what it is? I feel there's something out there, innit? I feel there's some next form of life that's not here on Earth, innit? I feel
alien life form, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I feel I don't know what it is, but I feel there's something out there, innit? And it's something that they're hiding from us, innit? Right? That's why they'll keep on lying and saying they're sending all these space rockets and all of that, and to get me. But I feel all on these different so-called planets, what they tell us about. There must be some different. It can't just be Earth that there's life on. There must be life on these other planets, man. That's what I truly believe, anyway, man.
What about you, RT?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's funny. I had this discussion with my oldest daughter only a couple of days ago about sort of alien life form and what's the possibilities and that. Well, I said,
Alf,
yeah. I said,
Alf or the aliens?
Alf, yeah. Well, Alf's always been around, isn't it? ALF, you know what I mean?
Okay.
From way back when on ITV. But yeah, no, yeah. And also with the whole Area 51 is the fact I've seen a lot of videos that people have posted when they've gone there and they just get run out of there straight away, you know what I mean? It's quite hostile. The people get treated with a great deal of hostility when they go down there and told in no uncertain terms to get out of there, you know what I mean? And obviously there were stories of aliens, whatever, was it the Roswell in the 50s and the cover-up of alien sort of bodies and stuff and the spacecraft. And yeah, I believe so. I mean, why not? Just from my mind, I think, like Johnny said, all the planets around, all these different planets, are we that sort of egotistical as humans to think that we're the only sort of life form that's out there, you know what I mean? No, I think there is. And do I think the powers that be know a lot more? Yeah, 100%, man.
100%.
Yeah, you think they're but we're the thingy, right? Ain't we these people that always think there's something else somewhere? Yeah? Even if we ain't got no proof or evidence. Why can't we just be the only ones here?
There's possibility, isn't it? But I just think like in the amount of other planets, I mean, how many planets in the solar system? I couldn't sort of tell you how many there is offhand, but there's quite a few. And say we're the only life form. We've only been to what sort of allegedly sort of what, you know what I mean? Ain't really touched anywhere really. So I think there is more, but just how much more or where or what it looks like or what is an alien, you know what I mean? It could be anything, you know what I mean? Not how it's perceived in the media or like on a ET or whatever, you understand? It could be anything, but
Can't it just be a money spinner? Because how much money do you think they get out of all this kind of thing? If you think of it
true
as nothing, yeah, let's just say it's nothing, right? Still, from this nothing, they've conjured something out of nothing, and then everybody's jumping into it. And you've seen how many alien stuff is being sold. It's a big hustle. It's a big business, no?
Yeah, different types, isn't it?
Can it not just be the hustle, no?
If it is, if it is, it's a bloody big hustle, like you said, isn't it? Because
Just like religion, innit?
yeah, true, another hustle, yeah, another sort of yeah, sort of blind faith ideology, just believe in something that people say, but you don't know in it, or you've never experienced, or life after death, or whatever. A little bit similar alien sort of thing in terms of is there something out there you never know. It's just like you said, sort of teacher. It's a general belief. Only what you know what I mean. It's more opinion based, isn't it? Not much factual going on out there.
All right.
It's just what you think. I just think possibly, yeah, in terms of the amount of other whatever planets there is, that there is some form of life form. Like I said, what it looks like, God knows. You know what I mean? Not like John Hurt's Alien. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's nothing, mate. Maybe it's nothing. We can't put it into something. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's
Yeah,
another.
exactly.
Maybe it's another Earth. Anyway, let's move on. What about the flat Earth? Flat Earth. Thing?
Yeah, that's minute. Flat Earthers.
Flat Earth. This is what. This theory asserts that the Earth is flat instead of being a spherical shape. Yeah. People think it's flat. So when you like jump on a plane or something, you're just going round and round like a record, innit? Like you're flying around the world like a dish. What do you think about that, guys? Johnny?
Oh, that's I don't know with this one, man. Because what we've always been taught or been learnt to be taught to be that the world's round, and people say it's flat, and then they're saying you can't get to the edge of the earth, and it's all, and then it's spinning on its axis. That's why we get the night, and then we get dark, and we get the daylight, and then the night, because it's spinning. And I don't know, man. But I'm thinking, if it's flat, how is all this? How are we getting this night and daytime thing? Like it's all mad, bruv.
Artie?
It's all crazy, man.
Yeah, flat Earth. I maybe tend to go with this other narrative that we're not on a flat Earth, like it's a spherical thing. Really, I don't know. Again, for sure, because again, we never really know. Again, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? And some of the other ones that, it's sort of you're going with more your belief than what you truthfully really know, or what the general consensus is that it's not a flat Earth. You know what I mean? But there are people that say it and they explain their theory behind it. But no, yeah, not quite with the flat earthers, really. I've had a few chat with a few guys and they're like, no. So they've sort of said that. I said, no, I don't. But again, I can't say if I'm with any sort of great sort of consistency the other way. You know what I mean? Because I don't know for sure. Scientifically and how it would all work out sort of geographically and stuff, you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
But it is a lot of guys, but there's a lot more guys you hear talking about it now in terms of it, don't you? In terms of the flat earthers and what their beliefs on that seems to be sort of trending a lot more now.
So what? That one's a question mark, yeah?
Yeah, I'll give a question mark to that one, guys.
Big up Beckley, who was talking about his control.
Big up, big up.
Talking about it's all about setting up, trying to control us. I think that was the 9/11 thing.
Yes.
About the 9/11 thing. All right, what about the here's another one. What about the New World Order? This theory suggests that a secretive global elite is working towards establishing totalitarian world government, yeah?
Totalitarian, yeah, definitely. Totalitarian, yeah, it's a tongue twister, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe how they say it or how it's defined, but I do feel it's a group of a lot of these people, world leaders and presidents. You heard about them in this Bilderberg group, and just general movements together and lawmakers and policymakers talking about sort of central bank of Europe and, you know what I mean, sort of more digital banking going towards, which we're sort of going towards it anyway now, you know what I mean? And having that totalitarian state in terms of that. We're not nowhere near yet, but you know what I mean? But yeah, I believe that. I think that's been happening in certain things, in certain ways, and sort of sneakily doing things like that. And as time goes on, maybe long after we're all gone, gentlemen, you know what I mean? But maybe our children might experience, sadly, something of what might happen. Hopefully not, you know what I mean? But I fear something like that.
Johnny?
What can I say about this one? I don't even know, you know. I don't even know what to say on this one, you know.
New World Order, what? You think there's the elite of the people sitting up in there, rich people, decision makers, they're just running the whole thing? No?
Like there's only 5%ers in it. The 5%ers control sort of 95% of the world's wealth. You got a lot of the elite bankers, haven't you? The same banking organisations that have been around for hundreds of years, the JP Morgans and all these guys. And there's never any change in that, you know what I mean? And even what was I watching the other day on the news? They said this guy from the Bank of England, then it was the main guy, they call him. Anyway, but you know, it's going up again, isn't it? You know what I mean? Interest rates are going up again. You know what I mean? And it seems to be the same group of people in all the little pockets all around the globe that are just controlling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think that's the way it has always been, isn't it? And it's just as times change and maybe with the advancement of technology, they make it look a bit smoother, you know what I mean? But still, yeah, they're always talking about this, isn't it? Sort of having your identity cards, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Having maybe some sort of restrictions to travel in time, and they won't let you go in certain places, and you can only go and buy stuff from a certain shop. I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but maybe later on, you know.
Well, that's they're doing that in some places in America, isn't it? They're doing the you can't go. You need some barcode thing to go into the shops now, isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Have you not seen that? Also,
no, I've not heard about that. Sorry, no.
Also, weren't this guy talking about? Do you remember this? Bro Sanchez was talking about this UFO thing. I know we passed that one already, but there was something on YouTube about some FBI reports about the UFO thing. Did you see it? Did you ever look at that?
No.
This guy was trying to underline it as well, but he just jumps on everything. Bro Sanchez.
Yeah. No, I didn't hear too much about that.
So you think there's... Go on.
No, but it is that element to it. I don't see why not. I think with these sort of core group of humans that have run our sort of planet for a long period of time, it's just, it might change hands with certain people, you know, this old sort of Labour, Tory, Democrat, sort of Republican, but it's all very similar in terms of them and their general beliefs and what they want to establish as a status quo. So even though one might follow the other and talk a completely different ball game, you've seen probably yourself time and time again, when the next one gets in power, very little changes, you know what I mean? And it's just run the same ship. And that sort of happens in most of the countries around the world, it seems, as everyone has the same gripe. That the politicians or these other people aren't doing enough, or they're not doing anything. So if you put two and two together, that maybe they're not wanting to do anything, you know what I mean? They have a different agenda.
So
yeah. That's what I think anyway. I mean, some people might think they believe in the idea of democracy, which is a nice idea, but in reality, for me, it's just an idea. I don't believe it. It's just put in place there. But yeah, so yeah, no, I'm for that. I think, yeah, maybe it's not New World Order, just as a set of general people that are sort of running sort of most of what goes on really on our planet.
Do you want to add anything to that, Johnny? No stress, mate, because we're looking to move on.
No. I can move on.
All right, let's jump into this strange racism stuff. Look, racism a big problem, okay? Big problem, racism. And sometimes we wonder why is it still going on? What is keeping this thing going on? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And we had a chat about it the other day, didn't we, old chap?
Oh,
He
yeah.
was telling me a story. Do you want to tell me that little story that you were saying?
Yeah, it's a kind of interesting stories. I've had these reoccurring stories for a good sort of, best part of 30 years now, in terms of people see me as sort of an agony racist. A lot of white people would come to me and talk to me and express their racist views to me, and then when I start talking and explaining to them sort of how I am, they would, you know what I mean, it would change. But yeah, a guy in work was talking to me, and he was talking about he's older man than me, in his early 60s, about his son's friends. He's got a couple of black friends apparently, and his son's friend had told him that black men don't know how to treat their women and stuff. So he was relaying that to me, and he's like, blah blah blah. What do you think about that? Yeah, I said, yeah, but that's like, what are you basing that on, and why are you telling me this? You're basing so his opinion of black men being sort of no good with their partners is based upon a sample size of what two, and it's this sort of strange racist behaviour that they'll feel that they can confide within me because I'm another white man. But then when I said to them, no, that's totally wrong, and what you're saying is wrong, and you're stereotyping and generalising a whole sort of race and sort of group of people because of a sample size of two, you should basically, you know what I mean, shouldn't be doing that. And then they retreat straight away, and it's like, oh no, it's only what he said. And but it's the same old stuff that I've had sort of a long time, sort of growing up. And you hear people start coming to you talking to this, and then but when you flip it and say, hey, listen, mate, that's not me, I'm not about that. You know what I mean? What you're saying does not represent me at all, and I think you're in the wrong and this and that. Then suddenly you sort of become the enemy, you know what I mean? And then they won't really talk to you as much, which is not a problem to me anyway, you know what I mean? But that's sort of been a regular thing for me growing up in London, you know what I mean? Sort of dealing with these strange sort of old sort of racist people who feel they can confide in you because you're white, you know what I mean? And they're automatically assuming that you're going to agree with what they're saying and sort of form a friendship based upon just a general sort of racistness, you know what I mean? Weird.
What's up? That sounds like some strange shit, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally, man, totally. But
Also,
when
must be
they
a good
get
eye opener, though, right?
yeah, of course, but it's always been that way. But then when you give them the feedback that they didn't want, the worst feedback, they don't really, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they won't really bother to chat to you, which, like I said, there's no skin off your nose anyway, or they won't talk as much to you about that because they know where you're coming from, and you can't be sort of bought, you know what I mean? Because some people are easily sort of gullible and they'll buy into the rhetoric and the nonsense, won't they? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've had that a lot, man. Wherever you go, man, they come and talk to you, you know, all these blacks. And I said, listen, mate, don't talk that shit to me, mate, because I'm not about that. You know what I mean? And then they just switch up quickly. Oh, no, he's not meaning like that, you know, and all this foolishness. I said, well, you were. You were openly going to say it. But I just think it's this sort of innate fear, isn't it, of people of a different, you know what I mean, which they've held for so long. And it's sad, isn't it, that they'll never change, but they'll think they can confide in another man and automatically assume that because you're white as well, and you might talk with a certain, like, whatever Cockney, or, you know what I mean, talk how we talk. Sometimes you might think, oh, he's going to sort of automatically confide into what, or sort of agreeing to what I'm saying, and, you know what I mean, we can sort of talk into detail about such stuff. But no, yeah, it's weird, and I've had that a lot. And I bet there must be more white men out there that have experienced that, you know what I mean? To a certain degree, and sort of had that sort of thing where there's a lot of racist old men, just people in general, then they think because you are white that they're going to start talking to you and like sort of thinking that.
Do you think they're scared? Because you said fear. You said the fear. Do you think they're scared?
I think they might not be so scared if they got to know people, and also they probably buy into a lot of the fear that sort of the media has portrayed about people from different backgrounds. You know, way back in the days where black people were described as aliens. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, when we were first coming over as illegal aliens and stuff, and the fear that they've tried to drive into the general public, and still do a bit to sort of today, mate. You know what I mean? To be fair. And I think that doesn't help them. And then they're not, some of them, sadly, arguably, are not that smart enough to go out there and challenge their fear, even to have a look or to try to integrate with people, you know what I mean? And then they sadly form that opinion based upon basically maybe what, just say for argument's sake, the Sun is saying, or the Daily Mail, or, you know what I mean? Rather than go and meet people and try to talk and find out, and you might have a positive interaction with those people rather than just believing the bullshit that the mainstream media or newspapers will say, you know what I mean?
But you know what, Artie? Sometimes it's scary. It's the way they've been brought up. You get it, and
as well, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's like hard for them to, because if you've been brought up a certain way, it's kind of hard to go against the grain. Sometimes you get it. So they've been fed into something, and it's like what you're saying. Why not go out there and see for yourself? But because they've been brought up into something, they're just following what they've been brought up into, rather than go against the grain and just be like, oh, actually, it's not what I've been brought up to believe. But
exactly,
they're just rather just keep that, and not just keep it to their self. They're try and influence other people into their way of thinking. You get it, and be like, yeah, them people there, man. Like, you get me, rather than just see for themselves, and it's sad.
It's really sad. I mean, I've had it even in my own family, people that sadly hold those beliefs, you know what I mean? But then it's no skin off my nose to me. I would lock them off, and I have done, and that would always be the case. But again, it's this stupid belief. And I think also people always, some of these people want someone to blame as well. That comes into it, a little bit of the blame game, to blame people for their situation, their standing in society, or what they haven't done or what they didn't achieve, and to put it on somebody else, or, you know what I mean, maybe to try to compensate
that sounds
themselves.
like a bunch of bollocks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A total bunch of bollocks, mate. But that's what they'll do.
That's a bunch of rubbish. Even the fact that your say your parents were like that, you don't take that on yourself, and don't.
No,
ask
you
nobody.
Shouldn't. Totally, 100%.
Yeah, you don't take that on yourself and then go around this big London city, for example, and keep them same views. That just don't.
No,
make
you shouldn't at all.
That's just dumb, isn't it?
There's a general amount of ignorance to it as well. If that's the truth be told as well, a genuine amount of ignorance where people are just not, either just too damn stupid, you know what I mean? And like even Noni said earlier on, yes, some of them did get it from their parents, but you do owe yourself, and if it's not too much indoctrinated within you, to meet people, like you said, teacher, in London, of all cities, arguably the most multicultural city in Europe, if not one in the world, you know what I mean? To go out there, you'll never see many cities like this where you can go anywhere and eat anywhere and drink in any different bar or eat food from another country, you know what I mean?
What about...
But yet some of them just want to stay bigoted and to sit in their little bubble, innit? And have a roast every day.
What about you, Johnny? Have you anything like that? You've seen anything, heard anything like that before? Or anything?
Say I've been in certain jobs. Like, remember the last job that I did? Do what I told you, yeah. And it's like be different nationalities there in it. Like there was Russia, no, there was Polish, there was Hungarians, Romanians, and it's like when I work in a job, it's like I go into these jobs where it's just me there. Really, that's how I look at it. But I look to interact with other people in it. So obviously, you got all these different nationalities, and they talk their different languages. And in every nationality in that last job I did, I always found one cool person in every nationality in it. So when they're talking their language and all that, I, I, I just got in my head they're talking about me anyway. So it's like one person would chat to me, would have a little smoke or whatever, and they'll be like, earlier on when we were talking in our language, I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, that person over there was basically saying, I don't like that dumb black bastard or whatever in it. And I was like, raw, like, what? Like, why? And they're like, they just don't like you in it. Like, and then I was like, all right, cool. And it happened with the Romanian community, the Polish community. There was always one person that didn't like me in their own little community in it. So like, it was a thing where I didn't know how to go about it in it. I just carried on being myself, doing my work and that. But it's like it was hard not to look at that person different. You get it, and it's like I wanted to challenge them and basically say, "Yo, I basically know you were talking about me or whatever," but I just let them carry on with what they were doing in it. But it's just sad in it where I was just working and I felt uncomfortable as well in it because I was thinking, like, raw, like you don't like me, what? Because of the color of my skin, where I'm coming to do the same job as you, but you look at me different and them thing there, and it's just it's mad still because you it's like before I got told these things, it's like you could tell there's a tension there in it. Like no one wouldn't really talk to you, and when you're going on your break, you're doing your own thing, and everyone else is doing their thing, and it's just mad still. But when you actually hear that people are talking about you and them thing, it's like it's not a shock, but it's a thing like, oh raw, like this thing's real, isn't it? Like it's mad. But little do they know, I was born in this country, in it. But you know.
Sounds crazy. Sounds nuts. Sounds nuts that the door is open for a lot of people to come over here and they still come in here with this silly attitude, this bad attitude.
And they look at you. Yeah, and they look at you as the strange person, or they just look at you as the outcast, and you're thinking, wait a minute. I was born here. I'm not saying it's right, but I was born here. You wasn't. But I don't look at it like that. But when they start coming with their bullshit like that, I'm thinking, wait a minute. If anything, we should be looking at you in that way. But I'm not about that, innit? But when you start coming with your foolishness and them thing, then it's it just touch home what you just said as well, teacher. Like they're coming over here with their foolishness. Like why? What is the reason for it? It's all mad. It's crazy, man.
We understand it's a little bit different outside of London, yeah. Because I won't even say England, because outside of London, England is a bit different itself. You understand? It could be like some of them places over in Europe. Do you know what I mean? So they should know better coming over here. Yeah, a little bit better. You want to drop some more on that, Artie?
Oh no, yeah, no. I mean, kind of, I mean, in terms of what we was kind of initially talking about from myself, yeah, I think, sadly, what drives a lot of these people, who knows, in it, to sort of what makes them tick and why they're like that, and sort of within each background or within a certain group of people, you're always going to get people like that. Sadly, you'll get a lot of good people, but you'll still get the ones, sadly, that are still driven by that and sort of use things as an excuse to sort of be racist and you know what I mean, to maybe, I don't know, it like you said sort of before, it's been around for ages, and sort of people sadly might, like as I said before, might try to relate to me as that person who they can sort of confide in to talk about these issues and feel comfortable with it. But then I say anybody just sort of stay true to who you are, you know what I mean?
All right.
And
all right. Sorry. What? All right, Johnny.
Go
See
on.
what he said. Yeah, what he said about people said to him. Have you ever had? Has anyone said that to you before? Obviously not. Not the, you know, a person of color. Has there a person of color ever said that to you? Anything like that before?
As in, how are
As
we
in
saying now?
the reverse, obviously. Understand? They would turn around and talk about white people. Yeah.
I've got some people in my family like that, yeah, where they would this was like years back, where they would say like the white people are the devil people and stuff like that. But it's like I would always go against them, like what Artie was saying, and they say, nah, man, you can't you can't say them thing there, because you get bad people you get bad and good people of every race, innit? It's like, I remember my gran years back, the only white person she did ever take to was Princess Diana. And I used to always say to her, why do you just take to this? Like, you don't chat. I don't see you chat to no white people or nothing. And then she's like, oh, because she can see what Princess Diana was doing for the black people and all that. And I was like, well, there's other people that do them thing there. And even if they don't, it doesn't mean that they're the devil people, they're minute. And it's like, it's the strange how, yeah, it's a strange how they got their own like they got their own perspective of things. And it's like, I don't know if it's where they grew up in Jamaica or whatever, and they experience certain things when they come over. I don't know, innit? But yeah, I got certain family members that just don't deal with white people, in it, and it's sad still.
yeah, but it's the naivety of people as well, isn't it? Over here, a lot of, like you said, on the flip side, a lot of older white people over here, and they've grown up just because they didn't grow up initially, depending on their age and their background, with a lot of people of colour. When they did eventually, sadly, a lot of them didn't want to take to and chose to be rather ignorant, rather than, you know what I mean, like I said, have a look and have a chat and sort of integrate. And a lot of people did, to be fair. That's, you know what I mean, again, we're not generalising, but there's still sadly a proportion of people from all sides that choose to stay ignorant, sadly, isn't it? And not to enlighten themselves a little bit.
Oh,
I hear that.
so you said a key word there. A key word that you said, it was integrate. All right. This is the last thing we're gonna say before we wrap it up. Integrate, yeah. Now, you know, I used to live in Spain for a bit, and they got their own English community over there, and they're not integrating. So what is it with this double standard then? Why do they have double standards? They want everyone to integrate, coming over to England and do what they do and all that stuff. So why is it then when they go to other people's countries and stuff, they got to sit there and do their thing and don't even speak the language, and been there 10 and 20 years and still can't speak the language? What's all that with the double standards?
It's poor, isn't it? It's like you said, it's poor form. It is what it is. It's the double standards. It's this sort of British sort of colonial empire, the Great British Empire, the ruling, the conquerors, and you feel that you can go anywhere and with a little dictionary in it, just go walk around with your dictionary, garçon, and, you know, mi amigo, and call couple man over and not make an effort. Like you said, you've all the expats, what is it, 3 million expats live in Spain. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that they don't, all of them don't know Spanish, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure a lot of them don't and haven't made the effort. But yet when it's the flipped around here, you want everyone to integrate, to sort of almost give up their own values and their own core. And then even when they do that, some of them are still not properly accepted anyway. And they've gave up their own beliefs and their core values that come over from their community, you know what I mean? But like you said earlier on, sort of teacher, you want them to sort of give all that up and to integrate. But when it's flipped around, you don't want to integrate. You want to sit there and go cafe every day and have egg and chips, you know what I mean? And a pint of Stella.
What about you got anything to add to that, Johnny?
Nah, I do find them thing there, like you talked about the Spain one. Remember when I last went to Jamaica? It's the same in Jamaica. It's like you got like a community. There's like a small community of Chinese people over there, and it's like they got their own thing where they just do their own thing, and you're just looking at it like me going over there, knowing that's my heritage and background. I just look at it and like, raw, like you lot just like doing your own thing, and just it's all mad, isn't it? You're not even trying to like proper, like and it's like it's all crazy, man. But wherever you go in the world and you're living there, man, just try and integrate and just certain, get me, just try and live like the people that you're living around, innit? Try and, get me, you don't have to fully give up your beliefs and what you believe in, but just try and just accommodate yourself to the surroundings you're in, innit? It's all crazy, man.
Yeah, I think that's been difficult for a lot of people coming here in terms of they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because even if they do try to integrate fully and check, you know what I mean? Sometimes even for certain man over here, that's never enough. And also the flip side of the people within their own culture might be saying, well, hold on a second, you're going too far, trying to integrate so much, you're forgetting half where you come from, you know what I mean? So they can't win either way, which I completely understand. And if they don't integrate at all, then they're saying they're being separatists, you know what I mean? If they just want to do their own thing and come and not integrate to a point, or just want to work, pay their taxes, and live by their own beliefs, whether you believe in them or not, then that don't go, you know what I mean, that don't go down too well either, you know what I mean? That's a tough one, really, isn't it? But like I said, the British, we're okay at telling people that they're not integrating, but we don't really do it too tough ourselves, especially like teacher obviously said, the expats in Spain. Some of those guys are not really best known for integrating.
But they just want to go out there and live and enjoy the sun and certain things, but you don't want to accommodate and integrate with the Spanish people, them and that. That's all nuts, man.
You said it there, exactly.
Anywhere in the world I'm gonna go and live or stay, I'm gonna try and learn their language and their culture and their history and certain things. You get it? I'm not gonna go out there and just be oblivious to certain things. I'm gonna go out and learn certain things, but that's me on a whole, innit? But it is real though. There's certain people that just go certain places in the world and just think they can just bring their self and not integrate with people, and that's just nuts within itself, man.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. Good. Well, let's wrap that one up. Nice one, guys. Thank you.
Blessings, man.
Hour and 11 minutes. It's enough. It's more than enough. Big up Becky Lou for your comments. Becky, always.
Yeah, big up, Becky.
Big up.
We missed you last time, Becky. You disappeared, but stay local, Becky. Yeah. All right. Big up you guys. Yeah, respect for your inputs. Yeah.
No worries. Enough love, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll be back next weekend for the same thing or something else.
No worries.
Same,
Always,
same
man.
discussions, yeah. Bless up,
Bless.
like, subscribe, yeah. Do all that stuff. Hold it down.
Yes, please. Come on.
Bless up.